What's up, watchers of the Marvel Multiverse, and welcome back to the Marvelous Wave. We're giving away an Iron Spider and a normal Spider-Man figure. The winner will be announced next Wednesday. All you have to do to enter is like this video, subscribe, turn on notifications, and then follow the rest of the very simple rules in the description down below. Now, let's get on with this update and this big official announcement about Josh Brolin. More specifically though, talking about Josh Brolin, his return to the Marvel Cinematic Universe is not one, but two characters. Let's go ahead and break it all down. Josh Brolin, according to industry insider My Time to Shine Hello, will reportedly be returning to the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but not as one, but as two characters, as Josh Brolin has actually played two separate Marvel characters across various franchises, the most popular of which we'll be discussing first, that being Thanos, the biggest MCU villain that we've had to date, and the overarching villain of the first 10 years of the MCU, who was ultimately defeated by the Avengers and subsequently dusted by Tony Stark. This return is actually somewhat confusing, as obviously again Thanos was killed at the end of Avengers Endgame, so in what capacity can the Mad Titan return? Many are speculating that Thanos will be returning in the form of flashbacks for the Eternals too, as Chloe Zhao recently talked about how if they did a sequel to the Eternals, that Thanos, being one of the most popular Eternals, would absolutely need to be a major part of the film, which would make sense for Thanos ultimately appearing alongside his brethren. There are obviously other avenues where the character of Thanos can ultimately return in the MCU, but for Marvel to bring him back from the dead outright would very much undermine the death of Iron Man and everything the Avengers went through in Infinity War and Endgame, and would undermine the culmination of the first decade of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, meaning that most likely and most obviously, Thanos will ultimately return in the role of flashbacks or show up from a different time period altogether. As obviously in the past, Marvel has very much played with different time periods, such as Captain Marvel being taken place in the 90s, as well as even as recent as the Eternals, which takes place all across human history. In addition to this, Josh Brolin is also apparently going to return as Cable, as he depicted Cable in Deadpool 2, with Cable most likely returning among the multiversal Avengers in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, which would make the most sense. Out of the announcements that Josh Brolin will be returning to play two characters, I think that the Thanos story is definitely more juicy, as his fate has already been sealed in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and it just makes the most sense that either he'll return from a different universe altogether, which is likely as there are actually many different variants of Thanos, including variations of the character where he did actually defeat the Avengers and ruled the galaxy as essentially king, completing his goal. It's also possible that he could return in the form of flashbacks, fleshing out the characters such as the Eternals and Eros, his brother. Cable, again played by Josh Brolin, is also an interesting addition to the MCU, and would most definitely first appear in Multiverse of Madness, which we've been hearing is going to have some absolutely insane cameos. But anyway though, my friends, what are your thoughts on this? And what are your thoughts on this report that Thanos and Cable will be coming to the Marvel Cinematic Universe, either being resurrected completely or brought from a different universe entirely? As always, my friends, we'd love to hear what you think about this in the comments down below. As always, hit that subscribe button to assemble and join our team, and we hope you have a great day.